A packed house for a huge Friday night rivalry in 4A's basketball as the Highland Rams travel to the Freeport Yellowjackets here on High Top Sports Network. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Spencer Witt. Alongside me is Damon McDermott. And Damon, this is going to be a good one here in 4A. These are two teams not too far away from each other, about a 15-minute distance, and this place is packed. You know it's going to be a good one tonight.
Both student sections packed, Spencer. We know how big of a rivalry this has been going on. It's great that they're both in the same section again, and Highlands and Freeport are both coming off of losses, so it should be a great game. Both teams trying to get back on the winning track. Just keep it.
So Highlands, of course, a good record for them as well. Both these teams dropped their first games in section play. For Highlands, it was a loss to Freeport. It was a loss to Knox, 63-60. It was a close one on January 3rd. And their side for Highlands, they fell to Hampton, 73-58. And we were talking about it beforehand. These are two teams. Highlands usually consistently pretty good every year. Freeport has had some success in non-conference play as well. They have done pretty well with a 7-3 record overall. And Hampton, of course, that's not a bad loss for Highlands. That's going to be a top team in this section as well.
Yeah, if you look at Highlands' schedule so far, they've lost to Hampton and they lost to Penn Hills by 1 point. Other than that, it's been smooth sailing for Highlands. And tonight, you would think Highlands is the favorite, but coming off a loss of Hampton, you really don't know what to expect from them. We know how good Brandon Foster is and a couple others on this Highlands team, and they got to kick it in gear. They only shot 27% from 3 against Hampton. You can't do that against Freeport.
Of course, Braden Foster, who shoots over 25 points per game. I think it's 27 points per game, 6'8". A junior for Highlands will be a force to reckon with. Freeport a bit undersized in terms of that they have two kids who are 6'4", but other than that, a lot more players under 6 foot and around 6 foot compared to Highlands. They have a lot taller of a team, I think, for both sides, or compared to Freeport's side, but we'll be seeing a lot of scoring. We saw a close one in the JV game. Highlands took that one against Freeport, but it was close. It was back and forth till about the final 2 minutes until Highlands started to run away with it. So should be a good one here as the tip-off. Captain's talking things over with the referees. Of course, 3 refs here for the Varsity game. Once again, thank you for tuning in here on the High Top Sports Network. I'll get you in here momentarily for the start of the game, but Damon, real quick, let's send it over to you real quick. What are your expectations for both of these teams kind of coming into this?
Yeah, Highlands was a preseason number 4 ranked 4A team, so they have a lot of pressure on them. They should be a good team this year, but dropping one to Hampton early surprised a lot of people, and maybe they're feeling a little bit more pressure this year. And for Freeport, it's pretty much they have nothing to lose here. They've been playing really well this year. Great non-conference schedule so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if Freeport can keep it close and maybe even steal one away for Highlands.
Freeport, of course, they have some wins against Obama Academy earlier on the end of December. They took down Brashear, a close win there as well, and crushed Red Bank Valley back right before Christmas as well. A victory against Burrell. It was a 1-point victory back on December 21st. The other side for Highlands, they fell to Penn Hills, but it was a close one, 43-42. That was on the 30th of December.
And playing it up a section there, it's an impressive, you don't want to call it an impressive loss, but that's truly what it was. They only losing 1 point to Penn Hills, and they actually beat Pine Richland earlier in the year, so we know they played up on competition and hopefully got them ready for section. Dropping that first one to Hampton did not what a lot of people thought was going to happen, but now against Freeport, we'll see what they can do and maybe get things rolling here in Section 4A.
A 60-43 win against Pine Richland, and then they defeated Valley. They crushed Valley 82-38.
Which is usually another rivalry. So like I said, this game, it can go one of 2 ways probably. You got a chippy, physical bout here between 2 teams, or one team might want to try to pour it on the other one because of this rivalry that's now renewed in the same section.
They also defeated Penn Trafford earlier on December 19th, and so we are moments away from the game starting. We'll send it over to the national anthem and the player introductions here. Should be a good one between Freeport and Highlands.
Score for tonight's matchup between the Highlands Golden Rams and your Freeport Yellowjackets. Before we play the national anthem, we would like to welcome our neighbors from Breckenridge who suffered an unimaginable tragedy earlier this week. when Chief of Police Chief Justin McIntyre was killed in the line of duty. When you entered the building this evening, you saw a photo of Chief McIntyre, and there is a bucket beside his picture. If you would like to make a donation, all monies collected will go directly to Chief McIntyre's family. The Freeport community thanks you for your generous donations, and at this time we ask that if you haven't already, please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your hats and join us in the playing of our national anthem after a moment of silence in memory of the late Chief Justin McIntyre. Chief McIntyre would like to ask all first responders to please stand at this time. Police, fire, and EMS, please stand and be recognized for your service to our communities. Thank you all again for your service and bravery in protecting our players and community. First, starting lineup for the Highlands Golden Rams, number 0, Chandler Timmons. Number 1, Jimmy Cooks. Number 4, Landon Signorella. Number 15, Brandon Foster. And number 23, Jordan Tavares. Highlands is under the direction of head coach Corey Dodson. Assistants Ian Albert, Christian Tanilli, and Freeport class of 1992, Rich Secura. And now, starting lineup, your Freeport Yellowjackets. Senior number 0, D. Jor. Senior number 1, Zach Clark. Senior number 2, Ben Lee. Senior number 3, Parker Lucas. And senior number 5, Brady Stevenson. The Yellowjackets are under the direction of head coach Sean Vinny and assistants Ben and Matt Bailey.
So a nice tribute before the national anthem for the Brackenridge Police Chief Justin McIntyre, who was killed earlier this week. The local community affected by that. A nice tribute from the Freeport area for that one. Starting lineups have been announced for both of these teams, and for Freeport it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5. For Highlands, 1, 4, 15, 23, and 0. And it will be 0. Braden Foster, and number 3, Parker Lucas. It's won by the Yellowjackets, and we are underway to start this one. Yellowjackets going from left to right in the white jerseys. Highlands in the brown jerseys with the champagne gold numbers and lettering. Far to the right side, looking to take what thought was going to take that three was Parker Lucas, but he decides to pass it off instead. Man coverage from Highlands. And over to Parker Lucas again. Lucas with the headband. Cycles it back over to Ben Lane. Lane, the senior, all seniors starting for Freeport in this one.
Spencer, so far it looks like you'll see Freeport try to slow the pace down. They don't want Highlands to get the ball early. And all seniors, very experienced. They know what they need to do, run set plays, and try to get somebody open.
Got a high-scoring Highlands team. Put up 82 points against Valley a couple weeks back. So have yet to register a shot, and we've got about 2 minutes, or especially a minute and 15 that have gone on the clock already. And no shot clock in high school basketball.
And it looks like they're not rushing either. They'll run 3 set plays if it gets somebody open back door on a cut or somebody gets a 3-ball.
Just finding that extra pass for that open look as they continue to cycle it. And the foul is going to be called. First foul of the game is going to go against number 1, Jimmy Kunst.
That was number 1, Jimmy Kunst, his first team first.
And it gets kind of hard playing defense, Spencer, for that long. You want to get the ball, and you're almost doing anything you can, and Jimmy there just got a little bit too aggressive.
Kunst, the sophomore, 6'3", for Highlands, gets called for the foul. First foul of the evening. Dean Fuhrer, now to Zach Clark for Freeport. Back over to 5. Brady Stevenson. Swing it over. 3, first shot of the game for Freeport. That one goes off the iron. Rebounded though. Put back up and in. Nice 2 points from number 3, Parker Lucas, and Freeport. First one's a strike in this one.
Looks like Freeport was going to come out with some sort of trap, and then they retreated pretty early on.
Almost taken away there by Freeport, but collected by Chandler Timmons. And then held up and swung to the right side. Literally held up in our situation as this one's laid in. Nice couple of points. Jimmy Kunst, 2.2 to 2 now. Second opportunity now for Freeport. They are able to break the press and move forward. The extra pass, laying that one in. Parker Lucas, that's a nice little pass from Ben Lane, who could have taken that himself, but that extra pass was the difference. Still held onto it, Jordan Tavares. Tavares swings that one back out. Big man, 6'8", and an offensive foul is going to be called against Braden Foster.
We joked about it a couple times, Spencer, when we're watching high school basketball. If you got a little guy on a big guy, you better make your dribble count, or they're going to call you for a charge, and it was a perfect, I wouldn't call it a flop, but a great play by Freeport there to get the ball back.
Good take from Freeport on that one, taking the contact, and I think the right call was called there, at least early on in this one, and laying that one up was...
Where Highlands is going to try to thrive. They're going to try to get a rebound and hustle early, but Freeport with a great steal.
Freeport takes this one away, and it's number 0, Dean Fuhrer. He can't finish on that one. 2 opportunities for him. Freeport still with a 4-2 lead, though, in this one. Back inside, and back outside, 23, Jordan Tavares. The junior. Extra pass, lays that one in. Landon Signorella puts that one in for Highlands, senior. And it's a tie game now, 4 apiece. Off the glass, absorbing the contact. Ben Lane, nice dish, or nice basket from him, I should say. He's got himself a nice start in this one. Tavares will take the point. That one goes off of number 3, Parker Lucas, and it will be inbounded by Highlands. Number 11, Brady Sullivan will check in for Freeport. And it's Cam Rygaard who will check in who checks in for Highlands.
What's interesting about him, Spencer, he usually starts. Highlands going with a different lineup for this section game here, and he's averaging over 10 a game, so he's definitely an offensive spark for him.
This one, another offensive foul on number 15, Braden Foster, and Foster doesn't know how. They keep calling it on him. He's got 2 fouls already, though, early on in this one. They're going to have to sit him down.
He's frustrated. It looked like it literally was just a post move. The kid was sizing him up. One shove, knocked him over, and that's 2 charges early. And you may not see Foster now to midway through the second quarter.
He's got 8 inches on Brady Sullivan, but Sullivan earns himself the contact and forces Foster to have to sit early on in this one. How huge that could be, a 6-4 lead right now for Freeport.
Like we said, if Freeport wants any shot in this game early on, keep it close, keep it chippy, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Freeport will have this at the top of the key. Zach Clark over to Parker Lucas. Lucas waves his teammate off, trying to get that one, and Highlands is able to keep it in. Nice play from Tavares, laying that one up and in for 1-and-1. Jimmy Kunst. And that was a great hustle play from Highlands. Zach Clark is the one who is called for the foul, and Jimmy Kunst will have the opportunity for an and-one.
And for Jimmy, I think a lot of people always talked about Foster, but Jimmy was a preseason top 5 player in this league. He can put up points anytime when Foster's on the bench, just like he did in the Hampton game. He's going to have to do it here early on for Highlands against Freeport.
Kunst cannot convert on the and-one, but they do get the rebound back. Highlands does, laying that one up, and it goes off the back iron, off a player for Highlands, and it'll be Freeport ball.
For Gavin Crony before the whistle, and number 2, Ben Lane returns for the Jackets after the whistle.
Ben Lane comes back in after the whistle. Gavin Crony in for Freeport. Ben Lane for Freeport.
You're hearing Freeport's coach. They're not really any free-flowing plays. It's always the coach calling out a play.
Yeah.
Go through that one. They might go through a second one, and then you'll see them kind of doing some of their own free roaming going on. But early on, it's all set plays, and a couple have been working for them.
Got a packed house here and a little smaller gym, I guess you could say, than a lot of other ones. A very nice gym, though, here. And this is the middle school, actually, that is hosting this one in the Freeport Middle School.
But I know there's a lot of people happy this rivalry's back, and so far it is not disappointed.
Yeah, both these teams were not in the same section or in the same conference last year. It was 4A for Freeport last year, Section 1, of course, the same as normal, or same as this year, but last year Highlands was in 5A, Section 4. Highlands finished with a record of 19-8. They went 10-2 last year. Fell to Laurel Highlands in the WPIAL semis, 61-44. Then they lost in the PIAA second round to, who else but Laurel Highlands, 71-66. Rodney Gallagher is in the nightmares of the Highlands players after last season, but this year both these teams are not in the same conference and the same grouping, so it's Highlands who has a fresh look and a nice basket for Cigarella for Highlands. Pushing the tempo and earning themselves a foul. Brady Sullivan gets the contact and will head to the line.
Fouls on number 4, Signorella, his first, team 5th.
Thank you, couldn't remember. So going to the foul line, Freeport for the first time, sponsored by Steffi's Country Catering.
Returns for the Jackets.
You don't want to forget about that Sunday takeout deal, Spencer. We keep getting told we got to try it.
We were told last time, and Joe was adamant about how it's some of the best food we'll ever have, and my mouth was watering thinking about it too. So that's definitely something we'll be going to at some point and getting some catering from them. Sullivan misses.
I don't know. We might get a delivery here. You never know, huh?
Sullivan misses the second half of that on the foul shot, and it's rebounded by Highlands. out of play, and it will be collected. This is number 0. Handler Timmons. Timmons lays that one in.
Timmons is their 3rd leading scorer on the team. You'll see him. All of his brothers went through Highlands. They're all athletic kids, good at football and basketball. He can do a little bit of everything for Highlands, and he's going to have to chip in once again with Foster on the bench.
Of course, Damon, Highlands alumni class of 2014.
We do not want to tell the viewers that, but now they've heard, I will not have any side on this game, I promise.
Damon was excited to see the old gang get back together, but then when he came in, he said, got a lot of people here that I know. A lot of people recognize this is obviously one of the big events of the week. Is this one stolen away, taken away by 25, Cam Regard.
And like I said, for him, it's almost a really good role. He gets to come off the bench and kind of spark the offense.
12-7. Highlands, a 3 wide open 3, and they knock it down. Brady Sullivan, who had checked in.
You're going to see Highlands start pushing the pace here, Spencer. This is the game they want to play.
Final seconds of that first quarter. The 3 is missed. And that is the end of the first.
12, Freeport 10.
So we'll run a quick commercial. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter, 12-10, a close one between Highlands.
Steffi's Country Catering prepares home-style made-from-scratch dishes that will have you convinced Mom made it. Whatever the occasion, Steffi's Country Catering will have you coming back for every event year-round. Find us on Facebook to place an order or to see our Sunday specials, or call 724-54-85047.
Welcome back here on the High Top Sports Network. 12-10, Highlands up on Freeport. In a rivalry game, of course, Sarver, Pennsylvania, the home of the Freeport area Yellowjackets. Highlands out in Natrona Heights. Not too far away from each other. You take 28 now, is that correct?
Yes, Spencer, you're getting all your local high school history lately. I've been trying to tell you, doing a lot of these games, and yeah, I told you, you go on 28, you get the Burrow Valley, Highlands, Freeport, and it's great some of these teams are playing against each other again.
This is the first time I've ever driven out to 28 in general. I don't ever usually come out. I'm from the South Hills, so I was joking. You never have any need to go out that way.
Everybody you talk to around here is going to tell you what exit they come off of on 28 to get to their house.
This was 17 was the exit ticket on to this one. It's a 12-10 game. Second quarter underway. Highlands pushing. We've got a foul before the basket. Basket does not count.
On the floor.
Jordan Tavares
Brady Sullivan, his second, team 3rd.
is going to be called, or is going to earn the foul.
Will replace Sullivan.
Sullivan is called for the foul, so he'll be coming out.
That's a second, so you probably, again, won't see him till late in the second quarter.
Gavin Glista comes in for Freeport. Nice inbound, nice extra pass. And laying that one in is Timmons.
Second time we've seen Highlands do that. They want to go right to the hoop out of the inbound. They even had a double there. It's still they want to do that play, especially with the height they have tonight.
14-10 here in this one. How will Freeport respond coming out into the second quarter? Glista, the junior, inbound, inside, nice dish, and laying that one in. Good pass from Ben Lane and Glista before that, and it is number 4, Gavin Croney, who gets the points. Highlands will move forward, they'll break that half-court press. Kuntz for 3, he knocks it down, Jimmy Kuntz.
That's one of the best ways they can get rid of that trap is you hit a couple shots and they have to back up and they can't do that trap against you, and that's what Jimmy did there.
Kind of the odd man out because they had beaten a couple guys. Taking the contact, that's the 3rd charge I think we've seen in this one today. This time though, it goes against Freeport. Landon Signorella taking the contact for Highlands.
And it's good to see from Highlands. They shot 27% from 3 against Hampton. That's one of the reasons why they did drop that first section game. So coming out early, hitting a couple threes, getting their confidence.
5 fouls for Highlands, 4 for Freeport. That one off the fingertips right near this sideline here, but kept in by Highlands. Into the corner. A 3 for Highlands. That one off the iron, rebounded, put back up, rebounded again. Back up by Timmons, off the boards, 4 rebounds, and finally, 4th time is the charm for Signorella, who gets the points.
We'll call that a stat stuffer for Highlands. They're showing their height here early. They're a pretty big team for 4A. You'll see a couple teams bigger than them, but they're going to get a lot of rebounds. It's hard for Freeport. They're keeping in as best they can, but now it's going to be Highlands ball again after. No, that's a timeout for Freeport. Trying to regroup.
Freeport takes the timeout. Signorella has 6 points. Jimmy Kunst has 7 for Highlands, and Chandler Timmons with 4 points himself. On the other side for Freeport, they've got 4 points from number 3, Parker Lucas. And number 11, Brady Sullivan, has 4 points himself as well. But Sullivan has a couple fouls, and of course, the player we haven't noted, who's definitely been getting a lot of looks from a lot of teams around the area, a lot of colleges around the area. Braden Foster, number 15, he had 2 offensive fouls, and he hasn't played since then.
And it looks like out of this inbound, he's going to stay on the bench. I know he was in foul trouble against Hampton, Sioux, so I think coach is just trying to be careful. They're up by 7. And you can see how frustrated he was. He is a bigger kid. It's hard to not take to draw a charge when you're going against a kid that's 8 inches shorter than you, and it's a learning lesson for him, and that's a big steal to have. Well,
that one was stolen away by Chandler Timmons.
Saying that he interfered with the inbound where he couldn't. You got to at least give him a chance, or he stepped out of bounds.
I think he stepped out with it. I think he tipped it and it bounced off the sideline and then went out of bounds. That one going out of bounds again as well. So Freeport's actually backing up this point.
You can see Highlands early was kind of playing with their pace, and now they're trying to push the tempo on offense and defense. They're not going to play the same pace as Freeport.
Inbounded. Taken now by Freeport. Brady Stevenson will move this forward for the Yellowjackets. Zach Clark. Clark defended by number 1, Jimmy Kunst. Gavin Croney. Over into the corner. Back up top. Driving in, laying that one in, and scoring is Zach Clark.
That's a great contested layup by Freeport to get it down to 5 points.
Clark got around one defender, and then that second defender came up, and he just kissed that one in for Freeport.
Highlands right there was firing with the over and the back.
They were. That was a lot closer than it should have been. Is this one inside? Nice dish from number 1, Jimmy Kunst. It was a quick pass, and then taking the contact was Cam Rigard. Rigard, excuse me. So Rigard, the junior for Highlands. First foul shot hits the front of the iron, no good.
Checks in for the Rams, number 15, Foster return.
And so Ali Sharif will check in for Highlands, the sophomore, 6'1", but also checking back in Brandon Foster for Highlands as well. Kunst will, this is Rigard, who shoots and misses both free throws. We saw it as an issue the last game you and I did both with Woodland Hills. They struggled again on the free throw line.
We've always wondered in 9th grade in varsity basketball why our coaches made us run so much for missing free throws. It is important.
It is the arguably easiest yet hardest shot to hit in basketball.
Especially in high school, you got both student sections yelling at you and all that stuff, and it's that Woodland Hills game, it was a deciding factor in the game.
That was the thing that kept Armstrong in it for a while, was Woodland Hills not capitalizing on the free throws. The contact again, and this time it's 2-2 now in terms of charges. Chandler Timmons takes that one for Highlands.
Chandler Timmons, a football kid, not afraid of contact. Neither one of these teams. They're going to take every single charge. We thought it was going to be like this. Great defense so far by both teams.
Timmons just getting in front of that one in time to set his feet. They break the trap, and Timmons with it now. Corner for 3. That one off the back iron, rebounded off a couple fingertips. Nice play by Cam Rigard.
Heads-up play by the junior to throw it off a Freeport at the last second. That's pretty much all we had.
Rigard's throwing that one off. Zach Clark, nothing he could do there. Instead, Highlands will inbound it. Give and go. Reverse lay-in, and Jimmy Kunst gets the points It looked designed almost from Foster.
We were saying it earlier. A lot of these inbound plays under the hoop, it looks like they want to attack the hoop. They know they got size against most teams, and it's a smart thing to do.
And there's no hesitation. It's almost immediate on that inbound from Highlands. Nice crossover to get around one defender. Inside, good takeaway though. Good defense from Gavin Croney to take that one away from Highlands.
It seemed like a great set play by Highlands, and Croney just had a feeling it was going to go underneath the hoop, and a great steal by him to get Freeport the ball back.
Chandler Timmons thought he had a wide open layup on the backdoor cut. Cutting in, a Euro steps, no good though. From Freeport, Highlands pushing the tempo, and Regard gets the points.
Freeport's starting to fall in that trap where they're trying to play Highlands pace and they just can't do it. You got to run your set plays and chip away at this lead. If you try going fast with Highlands, it's going to be a long night. And I think the frustrating thing for Freeport, they've ran some nice set plays like this one right here for 3. The problem is Highlands is scoring in 10 seconds at most. They're not really running much.
That'll help with the deficit now is a 3 from Zach Clark in the corner. 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Highlands does break the press. Timmons drives in, lays it up, rebounding and put right back in. Too easy from Braden Foster.
All right, as a coach for Freeport, what do you say to box out a 6'8" kid coming at you? It's kind of hard to. I can see Freeport coaches a little frustrated, but it's a hard one to task.
Foster had 17 points in that loss against Penn Hills. It was only a 1-point loss against, I believe that's a 5A school for Penn Hills, who dominated last year in their section as well. So to keep that one close is a good sign for Highlands.
Yeah, and I think this game for them, I think Freeport caught them on a bad night. They haven't lost to Hampton in 2 years. I know they heard a lot about that, and with the tragedy going on in their hometown, it's been a busy week. So I think tonight is a game they wanted to build on, and so far they're doing pretty well.
Ben Lane over to Brady Stevenson. Gavin Croney. Zach Clark. Stevenson. Gavin Croney now. Nice crossover, lays that one up and in. Beautiful play from Gavin Croney.
He's been playing great for Freeport, defense and offensively. That was a great move, great some space, and get an easy layup for Freeport.
Croney gets the points. He's got 4 points for Freeport. Extra pass, Timmons. Nice look. And that was from Regard for Highlands, who had that extra pass.
We're seeing some great basketball. You usually try to see like 1 or 2 guys take over, but both teams are seeing a lot of extra passes, a lot of cuts underneath the basket for some open shots so far.
And they're really working. There's not too many extra passes that are getting deflected or going out of play. It's just the shots, if they're falling or not, for both teams. That's a 3, no good from Freeport. Pushing the floor again are Highlands. Extra pass, looking for the open man. And Regard gets the points. It's a 10-point lead now. A foul is also called. So an and-one opportunity for Regard, and there's bad defense there, unfortunately, for Freeport. When he has such an easy opportunity, you're trying to get there last second, but you get him the contact after the shot, and it's an easy 2 points and potentially a third one.
Highlands, we know they can struggle from 3, but they're usually a good shooting team. But the biggest thing with their height is you always see at least 2 guys going to the hoop. So they always have options, and so far it's been easy for them to get to the hoop.
And one is not converted, though, for Regard. Sullivan. Zach Clark. Again, man defense from both of these teams. Contact, nothing called there. 3 from Freeport.
Freeport to stay, keep it in single digits going to the half.
Zach Clark knocks that one down.
Right back up, Spencer.
33 seconds here in this second half. Jimmy Kunst lays that one up and in with the floater. 31-22 now as the clock continues to tick down. 20 seconds here in this first half. Taken away by Highlands. They'll push forward, or will they settle for the final shot here? 10 seconds, and a push is the call as Brady Stevenson is called for the push.
I think Stevenson might have thought he was going to go up for a shot because there's only 8 seconds left.
Stevenson, his first, team 8, will send Regard to the line.
That will send Regard to the line. 8 fouls now for Freeport, so it'll be in the bonus for Highlands.
Number 5, Dom Stobert checks in for the Rams.
Dom Stobert checking in for the Rams, so senior for Highlands. Free throw for the 1-and-1 is good from Regard. One from Regard. Second one is good as well. So 33-22, an 11-point game. 8 seconds remaining here in this second half. Freeport almost taken away. Sullivan with a deep 3 off the iron. No good, and that will be all she wrote in this first half. Highlands an 11-point lead, and most of it was not even from their top scorer, number 15, Braden Foster. So a good start for Highlands here in this one.
Yeah, I think Freeport early on was doing exactly what they wanted to do, slow down pace, run some set plays, and then Highlands is going to pressure you. They're going to get steals off you, and they're going to just run a lot of those plays we saw under the hoop, and they got to push that pace early on. And 11-point game, not out of reach, but you can see Highlands is really starting to push the pace and really be the ones that are having the momentum going in the second half.
Yeah, Highlands definitely started to take control, especially in that second quarter.
And like we were talking about, it's going to be hard for a lot of these 4A opponents coming against Highlands. They have a lot of size. They're experienced. They've played together for a long time, and they were frustrated early. I really like how Freeport came out, but it seems like after that timeout and Foster got 2 fouls, it kind of reeled it in, and now they're kind of taking control of this game.
Cam Regard has 8 points for Highlands. On the other side for Freeport, Zach Clark with 8 points himself as well. So with some time in between halftime here, again, we want to give a big shout out to Steffi's Country Catering. So the holidays are over and you want to get back to some Sunday takeouts, Dan. I know you're a big fan of eating on Sundays. So.
We got a big Steeler game, big 3 games, see if they make the playoffs. Why not accompany that with a little bit of Steffi's?
Why spend all that time trying to cook yourself when you can get deal number 1, which is stuffed chicken breasts, gravy, parsley, potatoes, corn, coleslaw, and rolls. See, it feeds 5 people for $55. And of course, deal number 2, you got beef stroganoff, mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, applesauce, and rolls for 5 people. That's $55 as well. Damon, you hungry yet?
Yeah, I am absolutely starving.
So once again, want to tune in here, want to check out Steffi's Country Cooking. Pick up his catering, Sunday 11:30 to 1 at 603 Reesdale Road. Order on site and share as well at Steffi's Country Catering. A big thank you to them as well for sponsoring this here on High Top Sports Network. Be here all season. It's going to be a good one, I think, for Section 4A, or 4A Section 1. Freeport, Highlands, talked about Knock, talked about Hampton, all in this same section as well. So schedule coming up for both these teams is not an easy one. Not an easy one to say at all.
No, it's going into it, I think Highlands was the favorite, but how Hampton kind of manning on that first game. They beat him by 15. Now, I know it was an off night for Highlands, shooting 3-ball, and Foster had foul trouble early, just like this game a little bit, and I think he'll be able to learn from these first couple games on what he can and can't get away with. But no, both of these teams, you have a very tough conference that can go either way. For Highlands, they have Freeport tonight, and then they go Greensburg, Salem, Obama Academy, which Freeport played, and then Indiana and Knock are both going to be some tough games. they have to play North Hills in a tournament. So the best thing about both of these teams I saw, and we've read a little bit about both of these coaches, they think a big non-conference tough schedule is the best thing to do before heading into section, and both of them have done that. And both of them look like two teams that could make playoffs in section 4A.
Should be an exciting rest of the season in 4A Section 1, and should be an exciting rest of the second half here in this one. But Highlands up right now, 33-22. We'll step aside real quick, and we'll take a quick break here on the High Top Sports Network.
Steffi's Country Catering prepares home-style made-from-scratch dishes that will have you convinced Mom made it. Whatever the occasion, Steffi's Country Catering will have you coming back for every event year-round. Find us on Facebook to place an order or to see our Sunday specials, or call 724-54-85047.
Armstrong Indoor Athletics, located at 132 South Grand Street Avenue in downtown Katanning, offers a state-of-the-art training facility and top-tier instruction by experienced coaches to help turn your youngster into the best baseball or softball player they can be. Batting cage and bullpen lane rentals are available for 30 to 60-minute sessions, and you can also sign your baseball or softball player up for private hitting, pitching, fielding, and catching instruction with our knowledgeable staff. Be sure to visit Armstrong Indoor Athletics online at aia.team or call them at 724-599-9761 for more information today.
Welcome back here on the High Top Sports Network. Alongside me, Damon McDermott. I'm Spencer Witt. Damon, it's an 11-point lead right now for Highlands, and going into this second half, what are the head coaches of both of these teams telling their team?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier before going to break, Spencer. For Freeport, I think they have to dictate the pace of the game. When they were playing well, they were running their set plays, getting guys open, being patient, because we saw when Highlands gets the run, it's going to be a long night. They have 3 to 4 guys that can finish at the hoop. They all been doing that without Foster even on the court. So for Freeport, it's those set plays, looking for the 3 ball, a couple of those backdoor cuts, which they were doing well. They're down by 11. The game's not out of reach, and they just got to try to chip away at this lead. Don't rush shots.
So an 11-point lead for Highlands. And you got to expect, Damon, that if Freeport kind of brings this back within 5, 4 points, something like that, that fourth quarter is going to be intense. The crowd's going to be on their in their favor too.
This quarter for Freeport, it's all about trying to win the quarter. If you can chip away the lead to 5, 6 points going into the fourth quarter with the crowd behind you, it's going to get real interesting.
This gym is literally split in half. You see on the other side of your on your screen, that's the Freeport side over there. We are located on the Highlands side, which has the exact same amount of people as well. This is a packed house. We're underway for the second half. They switch sides, and Freeport will go from right to left. Highlands from left to right, and Freeport has the ball first out of the second half. Parker Lucas for Freeport, with Braden Foster guarding him.
And they're doing exactly what we said, dictate the pace. It would be great to get a 3 ball here early to try to chip away at this lead.
You see Freeport just kind of circling around, waiting for that extra pass and that extra look. Was looking for the 3 there, Zach Clark, but had a defender on him, so he passed on it. Still holding on to it, though, driving in, laying it up, and in, count it, for Zach Clark. A good start out of the second half for Freeport.
Looked like Highlands got a little bit stuck down in their zone under the hoop there, and when you got 2 guys going at 1 ball, it's usually going to result in a foul, and that's a big 2 points for Freeport, and if they could chip it down to 8 here, just like we said, 3 points early on, play good defense and try to chip away.
So Clark will head to the foul line for the and one. Clark converts, sought the charity stripe there. 33-25 now. Because again, they're pushing the floor, Highlands is, but now they'll settle things in on offense. Jimmy Kunst.
A lot of these traps and presses, Spencer, the team wants to get them trapped on that sideline, but all night, Highlands has pretty much been dribbling right through the middle of it, and that's a big tough bucket for Foster. They try to do an alley-oop there.
It looks like it.
High school teams you're going to see throw a lot of oops because of their size. But he'll put it in easy for Highlands.
Foster, that alley-oop was a little low for him, but he was still able to go over top of the defender, grab it, and then lay it in on the reverse for Braden Foster. Double teamed there was Dean Fuhrer, laying that one up, and in was Ben Lane. Lane for 2.
Tough layup, great contested layup. I think he was trying to draw a foul there too, but they'll take the 2 points.
Ben Lane, he's got 4 points in this one, but I think he's got at least 3 or 4 assists.
I was going to say, Ben Lane's usually the Freeport floor general. He's doing a great job so far, running a couple plays for him, and he's always trying to find the open man.
Extra man, backdoor cut, nice look for Regard.
This is what's tough about this Highlands team. You got Jimmy, you got Foster, and then you got Regard. There's so many guys that can score. If you double one, somebody's going to get open.
We're looking for the 3 there, but passes that one off, thrown over again. And just too much for Freeport. And Foster will carry it up the length of the floor. Regard. Jimmy Kunst. Kunst lays it up with the left hand. Gets around his defender, an easy layup for him.
What's surprising about that play is you got Foster dribbling up the ball as the biggest guy on the court with ease and finding Jimmy open for a layup.
Over for Ben Lane, a 3-pointer for Freeport. That one off the iron. Easy rebound for Chandler Timmons. Timmons pushes it. Braden Foster. Foster picks up his dribble, almost traveled there, but gives it over to Regard, and Regard for 3. The timeout taken.
We talked about Regard coming off the bench tonight. We don't know exactly why. He's usually in the starting lineup. I talked to the legend Mike Chome over there that's been announcing Highlands games for a very long time, but it looks like whatever happened, he's doing very well off the bench and providing a spark for Highlands, and he came out with a starting lineup in the second half.
So Highlands hitting the three and then calling the timeout themselves.
How do you get us some inside intel here for this game, Spencer? You got to talk to the old guys that have been watching the same hoop team forever, so.
Damon McDermott, the famous name drops of the Highlands area.
He gave us a stat sheet.
He did, and that's
looked like it was math lattice. We got to give him some props.
We definitely thank him for that as well. We've been using that throughout this broadcast. Very generous of him to just give us that stat sheet without hesitation, really.
Fun fact, he was my JV football coach, so I think I did a little brown nose him, so.
42-27, Highlands up on Freeport.
For Freeport, it's almost like every single rebound Highlands is getting. It's not even a turnover. They're producing points. So it's so frustrating because you're trying to run that perfect play. Yeah. But you're taking 2 to 3 minutes to run that perfect play, and if it doesn't go in, Highlands gets the ball and they're running up the court in 10 seconds. So it's a hard thing to adjust to. But I have been super impressed with Freeport and how efficient they are on offense when they do get to run the plays they want to.
And this is a Freeport team that victory against Obama, Brashear, Red Bank Valley, Burrell. The non-conference schedule, not the easiest. Obama usually pretty good. Watched Brashear a little bit ago. If they can get things going, that team might be pretty good in the City League.
And we've heard from the Freeport head coach that he wanted a tough non-section schedule, and that's exactly what they've had. And you can tell they're a very good team. It's just Highlands got a little bit more height, and they are just fast up the court. But Freeport now only down by 12, still has a chance in this one.
Tough schedule, but not a tough look for Zach Clark there, wide open as he gets by his defender. Puts that one up for three. Clark has 13 points for Freeport. Correction, 14 points for Freeport as this one's laid in.
We didn't really even talk about Timmons either, except for drawing that charge, but he's another one that can drive to the hoop and another layup for Highlands.
Chandler Timmons, 6'4". He's got 8 points himself as well.
Both of these teams, it's nice to see how they can spread the ball out, and it's not really one person being ball dominant, which is definitely going to help for section play.
And again, Braden Foster, only 4 points. You see Regard, who's got 13. Jimmy Kunst has 13 as well. So everybody is getting in on this one for Highlands so far. Again, 44-30. Freeport slowing things down here, picking up his dribble. This is Sullivan. Sullivan picks his dribble up, blocked by Regard. Fighting for it, and Regard will win it. And he'll push the floor. Regard, the length of the floor, passes that one over and dunked down. Braden Foster with authority.
Great play, great dunk by Foster. I thought he was going to hang on to the rim a second longer, and there could have been a tech called for this rivalry game, which we usually see one.
Good look from Regard as well to Foster. Dean Fuhrer. Three taken. That one might have been deflected from Ben Lane. Foster for three. That one off the iron. Rebounded though. Put back up on the left hand, or the right hand, excuse me. Still fighting for it. Regard is there for it as well as Lane, and it will be a jump ball. Possession arrow stays with the Rams.
For Highlands, Crony, and Glista.
You'll see Timmons come out now, and Signorella is in for Highlands.
Gavin Crony and Gavin Glista. Both Gavins checking in for Freeport.
Another under the hoop play where Highlands. Braden's going to put it up in that 6'8" wingspan. Nobody can reach it. A little backdoor cut, easy layup for the Rams.
That was Jordan Tavares for Highlands. And again, right off that inbound as well. And that's going to be a travel. Picking up the pivot foot there was Freeport. Number 1, Zach Clark.
For Freeport, they got to try to stop the bleeding here. Get Highlands to take a tough shot and not try to drive to the hoop. Freeport's usually a man team, but right now I would go with some kind of zone to try to get them off, get into the hoop every single time.
About 2 minutes remaining here in this second half, or in this third quarter, excuse me.
Team first in the second half.
Was a foul called on Freeport. Ali Sharif returning for Highlands. Inbounded, Regard over to Ali Sharif. Taken away, nice steal from number 4. That's Gavin Croney, and Croney will lay it in. Good heads-up play from Croney.
Croney's had a couple great plays right there. He knows that Braden wants the ball back. He shoots the gap, gets an easy layup for Freeport, and hopefully they can get some momentum off of this.
With it now is Highlands inside. Regard off the high off that bank, off that glass and in, I should say. Regard, he's got 15 in this one. A foul called on him. Too aggressive there. Right near half court.
25, Regard. His first, team second. Timmons returns.
Timmons will check back in. Regard will check out. Again, 15 points, though, for him checking out. Solid night, regardless of what happens for the rest of this night for Regard.
Great game for him. I think he's a little frustrated with that foul. They like the press, get in your face. He just shoved them a little bit there. And Freeport's got the ball back, and they got to get something going here.
I thought Zach Clark was going to pass that one over to his teammate, but he holds on to it. Over in the corner, Sullivan for 3, and he knocks it down.
Exactly what Freeport needed, but you're going to see Highlands come up and press right away and try to get into the hoop as fast as possible.
Highlands trying to respond. This one off the iron, rebounded by Highlands, or by Freeport, excuse me. Gavin Croney pushes it. Sullivan off the glass and in. Not afraid of Braden Foster, and he just puts it off the glass and in. 50-37 with 45 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Laying that one up, rolling around. Back up, no, it's going to be an offensive foul on Landon Signorella.
Our charge counter is now up to 5, Spencer, and we're going to see more, I guarantee it.
And the over-under was 1.5, really. I mean, it's
crushed.
You don't see it too often.
Both of these teams, like I said, historically football schools, they're going to get physical, draw a couple charges, and the coaches love it. That's one thing when they look at the huddle next morning that they're going to love to see.
Almost a great heads-up play there by Jimmy Kuntz to get to that one, but just not able to get to it. And Freeport, 30 seconds remaining here. Out of play, and it's going to be Highlands ball, so a turnover from Freeport with 28 seconds here in this third quarter.
Highlands usually a fast-paced team. We'll see if they try to hold for this last shot here. With Freeport chipping away, they were down 18 at one point, now only down by 13.
Ali Sharif will,
and why if you're Highlands, push the pace.
Give a signal call, too easy underneath for Foster.
I guess that's why.
If you got an easy look like that, there's no need to hold on to the ball.
Split the double.
Trying to get that to his teammate, Dean Fuhrer, but instead is taken away by Highlands. And it's 52-37. Here in this one, we'll take a quick break here. We come back, fourth quarter between Highlands and Freeport.
Steffi's Country Catering prepares home-style made-from-scratch dishes that will have you convinced Mom made it. Whatever the occasion, Steffi's Country Catering will have you coming back for every event year-round. Find us on Facebook to place an order or to see our Sunday specials, or call 724-54-85047.
Armstrong Indoor Athletics, located at 132 South Grand Street Avenue in downtown Katanning, offers a state-of-the-art training facility and top-tier instruction by experienced coaches to help turn your youngster into the best baseball or softball player they can be. Batting cage and bullpen lane rentals are available for 30 to 60-minute sessions, and you can also sign your baseball or softball player up for private hitting, pitching, fielding, and catching instruction with our knowledgeable staff. Be sure to visit Armstrong Indoor Athletics online at aia.team or call them at 724-599-9761 for more information.
Welcome back here on the High Top Sports Network. Alongside me, Damon McDermott. I'm Spencer Witt. It's 52-37 Highlands over Freeport.
We saw Freeport kind of chip into this lead, but then RMU.
The RMU counter was only at 1 now, though, so that's not too bad for us.
For Highlands, they got that quick layup to extend the lead back to 15. Charge counter 5, RMU counter 1. I'm the one that dropped it. I'm mad at myself.
I put my money on you on it, so don't worry about that. I'll cash out later on.
I went to the school, and I'm not even saying.
So a timeout taken, 52-37 here in this one. 7:50 on the counter, so only 10 seconds have gone off the clock. Highlands was the one that took that timeout, by the way. So if you're Freeport, though, 37, 47, 49, 15-point game.
They've been shooting three ball well. I think you just got to try to set up some plays. It's hard with Highlands' length to shoot over them, but that's kind of what you have to do at this point. And then on the offensive side, honestly, the best way they've been defending is drawing charges and making Highlands shoot. I think we've seen early on in this season, Highlands isn't as good as a three-point shooting as they were in the past. That could just be early season stuff, but for now, just do not let them drive to the hoop. I know they got size. I know they're fast, but just you got to try to limit it as much as you can.
I think if you're Freeport, you got to cut this to within 8 points by 5 minutes. 7:50 on the clock right now. Inbounded, Timmons. Tough contact, but he puts that one in. The foul is called. Correction, we'll see what the call is. 25 is going to be called for the foul on the push.
Regard was not happy about that.
No, he was not.
They were fighting over the ball that ended up just being a made basket anyways.
That's a smart play from number 1, Jimmy Kunst, who pulled him away from the referee. Regard was pulled away from the referee, just kind of keeping him calm, not getting any stupid technical fouls or anything like that. Three-pointer from Sullivan, no go. Rebounded by Regard. Over to Chandler Timmons. Back to Regard. Timmons, too easy. On the give and go. That's the pick and roll, I should say.
The best thing we've seen from Highlands, it looks like, is no matter what, if they have one guy driving the hoop, there's going to be somebody coming back door for an easy layup, and they've been doing it perfectly tonight.
Zach Clark for Freeport. Over to Gavin Glista. Held in over to Glista, or held over to Brady Sullivan, excuse me. Now Glista. Laying that one up off the iron. Trying to get away from number 15 Foster was Dean Fuhrer, but could not put that one down. Foster. With Fuhrer guarding him.
You'll see Foster a lot creep up for a pick and roll, and it's almost like all 5 on Highlands can dribble the basketball. So that it's not like we haven't heard as many plays called. That's a big dunk by Foster.
Good look from Chandler Timmons to Foster. Foster's not able to finish though, but he does earn himself 2 shots at the foul line after almost a dunk there from Braden Foster.
It looks like the ref was asking if he was okay. I think he wasn't hurt. He was just more disappointed in his poster. Freeport.
Almost had a poster, almost had, and one with that one too. It was Dean Fuhrer who was called for the foul.
And for the most part, Freeport, one of their big things going in this game was limiting them. Foster hasn't been putting up many points. The problem is when you double him, they got Timmons and Kuntz and Regard that all can go to the hoop as well, because he misses both.
Off the iron, both missed. This one thrown back over for some hope from Jimmy Kuntz, but nothing there for it. Sullivan taking the contact, no foul. Timmons rebounds it. Pushed forward. Regard for 3. That one off the iron.
Look at Sullivan coming back on both sides of the ball to get him another rebound. He's been playing really well for Freeport all night long.
That one, tough shot from number 4, Gavin Croney, but nothing doing there. 2-on-1 with some help. Spin move collected by Foster. Foster back up, off the iron. He gets it again though, 3rd time, 4th time, no, 5th time. Oh my goodness, and he's finally fouled. Talk about the height, he's definitely using it right there.
Yeah, you'd love to see him finish one, and then Freeport would end up being 4 guys like, all right, this is enough, just give me the ball.
At that point, almost just let him finish because taking up valuable time here. 5:35 in this one. Foster will be going to the line, though.
You can see the potential out of Foster. You'd love to see him finish that at the hoop, or maybe even try to dunk that, but great way to get the rebounds, and hopefully he can knock that one.
I don't think he's made a foul shot yet, though, unfortunately for Foster, as he misses that one.
you can see everything there. It's like you just got to put it all together for Highlands, and they could honestly be one of the best teams in this section.
And their upcoming schedule does not get easier.
For Freeport, I don't think this is the type of game that they should be mad about. It's showing you like what the best, maybe one of the best teams in all the section is. And Freeport has been doing really well in non-conference, and I think they're going to make some noise in this conference. They know where they got to get better.
Freeport's got to be frustrated about that, though. Jimmy Kunst underneath the hoop, no one even near him on that rebound, and he lays it back in.
And it's for a coach. You're not mad at how they can plan, but a play like that, it just shows they're not putting as much effort in. And for Jimmy, it seems like he's always active on the boards no matter what.
Brady Stuyvesant will be back in for Freeport. Ben Lane almost called for a carry there. Sullivan, nothing there. Contact, offensive foul on Freeport, and that's the right call.
And that's number 6 on the night on charges. It is a coach's dream out here.
The hustle and grit out here from both of these teams taking this contact. You can't measure that. They're not on the stat sheet, I should say, but
if there was,
they'll be on the film coming tomorrow, and our film, of course, here live on the High Top Sports Network.
Yeah, Huddle's there, but if you want entertainment.
Gonna listen to Damon McDermott and I rattle off our old glory days. 58-37, Highlands. This one's another good look, and it's Jimmy Kunst again. Some great dimes from these Highlands players. Pushing the tempo, extra pass into the corner, kick out, that one off the iron, off a couple players, and it will go for Highlands. That was Ben Lane, who just tried to grab that off of number 15, Braden Foster, but unfortunately,
Ben Lane and Foster are exchanging some words. I think they're both just laughing because Ben Lane's trying to out-jump him, and he's like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, nice heads-up play by Sullivan there. Too aggressive and too risky from that pass.
But I really like Ben Lane for Freeport. He's like their floor general. He's the one calling out all the plays. He's found some great open looks for him. Sullivan can shoot a good 3-ball. I think they have a lot of great pieces around him. It's just a tough second section game for him.
A foul is going to be called away from the ball.
It's getting a little chippy like we thought it was going to be. Ben Lane there getting
Number 2, Ben Lane.
And Lane called for the foul, and you saw them kind of bump shoulders. Him and Braden Foster, they switched up now. So Lane is guarding Foster. Before it was Sullivan. That's going to be a foul on Lane again.
Foster's a big guy, but if you're putting your elbow into him, I don't know if I love the call because Ben Lane obviously is a little undersized, but... And this is what we said might happen. It is going to get chippy.
Yeah.
Two neighboring schools. Ben Lane's talking to the...
He's talking to the head coach. He's talking to the head coach of...
He told the Highlands head coach that's not a foul.
Of course, the head coach for Freeport, Sean Deviney, is definitely asking what's going on there, too.
And Sean was a former assistant coach for Fox Chapel. Read... in one of the articles that he loves doing a tough non-conference schedule, same thing they used to do at Fox Chapel. They run the same kind of defense here as well. It's going to be a lot of high-pressure man with some traps and aggressiveness in there. And the team's just a little frustrated. I think they're a great team for the section, great rivalry, and you can let a little emotion show.
But a good defensive team, too, you can tell from Freeport. They held Obama Academy to only 15 points in the second half.
Foster trying to push it up.
Another steal. This is Lane. And back over, swinging that left to right.
Lane's been very impressive. He's not giving up. I know it's a tech, but he's showing everything he's got. Pushing the ball up for him. Here's a rebound by Foster, pushing it up the other way.
No good from Zach Clark, and Foster with the rebound.
And Lane's right back on him. I'd love to see him just go at each other.
I'd love to see that as well. Number 25, Cam Regard for 3 from Highlands.
Cam now has 18 points for Highlands.
An impressive night for Cam Regard. Lane, contact, and a foul is going to be called on the floor. against Freeport, or against Highlands, excuse me.
And I'd love to see that more out of Freeport. You see Ben, most of the time they're running set plays, but there he beat his man, drove to the hoop, and drew a foul.
Cam Regard is called for the foul.
Cam's got to be careful. I think that's either his third or his fourth.
Kevin Glista comes back in for Freeport. I'll check in for number 5, Brady Stuyvesant. 64-37. In the corner for 3. That one knocked down. Gavin Croney.
Croney's another one. He's doing a lot of small things tonight to look great, and he can shoot a good 3-ball. There's definitely things for both teams to build off of here.
64-30, 3.5 remaining here in this fourth. Highlands with the ball, looking for their first victory in section play. They dropped their first game against Hampton. Freeport, of course, looking for the same thing as well. They fell to knock earlier this week.
And that was a great game, only losing by 3 to knock.
Extra pass, Regard, off the glass and in for Cam Regard. I think he's got 19 now in this one.
You can tell how well-coached Highlands is. They're always looking for that extra pass when they're driving to the hoop.
Direction, Regard has 20. Sullivan, a job attacking the hoop there, and he earns himself some free throws. Sullivan had 12 points against Brashear, and he had 10 points against Obama Academy, 10 points against Red Bank Valley. So Sullivan coming off the bench, but definitely gives a spark for Freeport.
Yeah, the best things I've seen him from tonight, he has a good 3-ball. He's always hustling. He's had a couple of offensive rebounds for him, and he's definitely going to be a spark off him off the bench all year long.
So the junior.
And he's going to be the leader going into next year with this all-senior lineup for them. It's great to have a junior there for your 6th man that can come in and get you 10 to 12 a game.
And Gavin Glista coming in, both juniors off the bench, getting some productive minutes from them. Sullivan's second shot is good, missed the first shot, so 66 to 41. And with 2:45 remaining here in this one, off the glass and almost like a tip drill right there.
I call that the old Kobe move. Nobody's open except for myself. I'm just going to throw it off the board and get it.
That's Jimmy Kunst who gets the points for Highlands, 68 to 41. Almost driveling there was Ben Lane. In the corner for 3, contested, but knocked down from Kevin Croney, excuse me, for Freeport. Underneath and a big slap. Foul is going to be called on Ben Lane, and you see Regard waving him goodbye.
We knew it was going to get chippy. Ben Lane, he's a senior leader, point guard. He's been having a tough task of guarding Foster. And
here comes Regard. Look at Regard down the court. He's standing right next to him. He went all the way down there towards the bench, and he's still talking to him until he's finally walked back now, as you see on your screen. It will be 15. Braden Foster, who will shoot free throws. That's his first free throws he's made tonight.
And maybe not the best thing from Regard there, but we know how this game could go, and hopefully that's the end of the chippiness. We got 2 minutes left. But you can tell these schools do not like each other, like I tried telling you before the broadcast.
He definitely did. 71-44. And a rivalry, and it's great to see these two teams back in section play. They'll, of course, play each other later on this season. It'll be back in Highlands. That one off the iron, no good. Collected. 3 for number 5. Knocking it down. It's Dom Stobert for Highlands for 3.
Shout out to Dom. Doesn't get as many minutes as some of the other guys, but he comes down and knocks down a 3 early.
Senior for Highlands makes it a 30-point game.
And Freeport, it's not like they were getting run out the gym. It's almost just like Highlands is so efficient.
But off the iron. Over for 3 for Freeport, no good. That's number 24, C.J. Walker, who was checked into the game for Freeport. A couple substitutions coming in now. Got number 2, Ali Sharif coming back in. Landon Signorella comes in as well. And then number 41, Cody Hubert, the crowd favorite, is in the game. Of course, the Freeport, or the Highlands student section, getting a good one out of that one. Cody Hubbard, who doesn't get too many minutes for Highlands, a senior. Getting some playing time here with 33 seconds remaining. If he knocks down a shot, this crowd will go wild on our side here. That one's going to be just too much and too far away from number 5, Dom Stobert. It'll be points for Highland, or points for, or inbound, excuse me, from Freeport. Final 10 seconds here. 44-74, physical defense. 15 in there, Brady Paga as well. That 3 goes down for C.J. Walker right at the buzzer, but of course, unfortunately for Freeport, it's not going to be announced. Final score, Highlands defeats Freeport 74-47. Damon, final thoughts in this one?
Yeah, we talked about it all game long. We know how talented Highlands is, and Freeport had a great non-section schedule as well. I think these are 2 teams that are going to be battling for a playoff spot all year long. It's great to see some chippiness, this rivalry back. It's great for all the fans to see it again. And both teams did some good things and some bad things. For Freeport, I think a lot of the year it's going to be about dictating their own pace in these games, which they did early on. For Highlands, they can use their length. They can push it up the court, which they did tonight. And they were just super efficient, always finding that extra pass, finding that extra shot. And it's a wide gap here at the end here for Highlands and Freeport, but it was a close game through the first 3 quarters. So Highlands moves to 8-2. They're 1-1 in 4A Section 1. Freeport drops to 7-4. They're 0-2 in Section Play. Damon, real quick, you got the upcoming schedules for both of these teams, who they will be taking on in the next upcoming days. Yeah, so right here we have for Highlands, we have Greensburg-Salem on the 10th. We got O'Ballin Academy on the 11th. Indiana and Knock, both section games. And then they'll obviously play in the tournament at Alderdice against North Hills, Bishop Canevin, and Hampton. And for Freeport, we have, give me 1 second here. For Freeport, we have a tough game against Hampton on the 10th, Greensburg-Salem at Greensburg-Salem on the 13th. They're playing at Armstrong on the 20th. East Allegheny on the 24th, and Knock on the 27th, and back to the Highlands on the 31st.
So tough upcoming schedules for both of these teams, but it'll be definitely exciting. There's still plenty of time. A lot of games to be played here in 4A Section 1. And that will be all she wrote. Real quick, I want to give a special shout-out to everybody who tuned in this evening as well. A beautiful Friday evening here in Sarver, PA. Special shout-out to Steffi's Country Catering, of course. Definitely want to check them out if you're looking for some catering this weekend as the Steelers take on the Browns on Sunday. We've got those Sunday specials, and you definitely want to check those out as well if you want to get some catering. Check out Terry Steffi on Facebook.
And shout out to Freeport. I think it was a great atmosphere.
Yes.
One of the best games we've been to so far this year. Great rivalry. Great for it to be back for everybody involved. Both sides of the stands are packed. A lot of passion, a couple texts, a lot of cards taken. So it was great high school basketball to watch, and I hope everybody enjoyed listening to us broadcast the game.
Packed house, and we expect a lot more packed houses throughout the remainder of this season. So that'll be it for our entire broadcasting crew. For my color and commentator, Damon McDermott, my producer, Josh Schreckengoss, I am Spencer Witt saying so long, and thank you so much for tuning in here on the High Top Sports Network. Good night, everybody.